Hey, I'm Sunny, this is my wife Chloe, and we got married in February 2025, and our photographer was Finch, and we're about to answer some questions.
So, when you were looking for a photographer, what mattered to you most?
To me, someone that could make us feel natural, relaxed. We're not the most comfortable people in front of a camera, so we wanted someone that could make us feel, relaxed, easygoing, and just guide us through the day.
I think for me too, I was looking for someone who could do your classic portraits with all the family, make those look really nice, but as well as the editorial photos. And I found it really hard to find a photographer that was good at both. So why did you end up choosing Feather and Finch?
I guess for me, when we checked out the photos, the portfolios, everything looked really natural, and the photography quality was incredible. We had done a lot of research on photographers, and we kept coming back to Ryan and Feather and Finch, and we couldn't step away from it. It was completely worth investing the time and money into it.
Yeah, for sure. They definitely stood out compared to a lot of other photographers that we saw. And I think after we had our initial chat with Ryan, just hearing his approach, and he was just really easy to deal with, down to earth. I think it just was perfect. How did the process feel from the lead up to the day itself?
I guess at first, we had really good phone calls with Ryan even prior to the wedding day, planning out how the day's going to look like, and we chopped and changed a few things, but we made it work itself. On the day, we met Ryan and Rick at the ceremony, or I had, and they made me feel relaxed from the instant. Introduced themselves, here's what we're going to do, kept things really simple and easy. They kept bringing it back to the day's about you guys, and that's all it is. The day is about you guys. You're here to enjoy it. We're just here to capture the moments, and I love that.
Yeah, definitely. I think on the day itself, when we did the photos with all the family and friends, everything was just so calm and controlled, but also it was very quick, which was good for, we have a few family members that just photos are not for them, and so it was just so organized, and it was over really quickly, which was also good because then they could all get on with having drinks and enjoying Benny, our singer, and but yeah, definitely they reiterated all the time about the day is about you, and you don't have to do the status quo or do the Instagram trends. They had really good advice.
I think what I liked as well was after the whole ceremony was done, it was just me, the best man, Chloe's maid of honor, and Ryan and Rick, and it was just like a group of friends hanging out, and we're just taking photos. It was so easy going. We absolutely loved it.
Yeah, for sure. You could almost keep going, but it got to the point where we were like, okay, we actually better go and have our dinner now.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So, were there any little moments on the day that really stayed with you?
Oh, there was one funny moment actually. We were in the middle of our portraits for me and Chloe, and we were talking to Ryan, and we said about how we'd moved to Australia recently, and he'd asked us, have you seen any snakes? I said, oh no, and then he mentioned a story where he had seen a snake at a previous wedding. Anyways, we're getting ready for our next shoot, our next portrait shot, and as we're walking into the field, I saw what looked like a snake. I was like, Chloe, I think that's a snake there. I turned around and looked at Ryan and Rick. I was like, I think there's a snake here. They're like, no way. And they ended up taking a few photos of it, which is quite cool. So we have that as part of our memory log. So
yeah, it was a really weird day when it came to animals as well, because when we went to the Spit back in the Goldie, we were taking photos on the rocks, and then Ryan and Rick didn't say anything, but when we turned around and went to get off, there were so many bush turkeys behind us. It was super weird. They came from nowhere. It was just a very weird
viewing day.
Yeah, it was really odd, but it was really cool, like little detail.
Even saw another wallaby when we left the venue as well, so yeah, some would say that's lucky. So
it's just funny how things happen and work out. What was your reaction seeing the photos for the first time?
Oh, definitely emotional. God, kind of brought back all those feelings from the day itself. I think one thing that's important to remember is the day goes so fast, and you remember bits and pieces of it, but when you see that, when we saw those photos again, it was like, oh my god, that, you know, it felt like it was yesterday. You know, it just brought back so many memories, and just how amazing the day was, and how everything flowed so smoothly, and the quality of them. This wasn't even fully edited yet, and it looked incredible. So yeah, we were excited to get the full package after that.
Yeah, definitely. And I think when you're the bride and groom, you're not really looking at anyone else during the ceremony because you're nervous and obviously focusing on your partner. So when you see the photos of like your parents' reaction or your friends, and you know, when there's a joke or when it's overly emotional, just almost experiencing the day from your guest point of view. And then we got the video as well, which was just worth every investment. I probably watched it an unhealthy amount of times.
I have it saved on YouTube.
It was just photos are amazing, but hearing what people said and the speeches and everything, because in the moment it goes so fast. So when we got it, we actually sat and just watched it all again, and you remember what everyone said, and it's so special to have, and we'll probably watch it all the time.
We sent it far and wide for everyone to see because we were just so proud of it. We were actually gobsmacked.
I know everyone who's watched it has had a very emotional reaction, and even people who weren't there on the day
told the story of the day very, very well.
Lastly, any advice you'd give other couples planning a wedding in a way that feels true to them?
I think the biggest piece of advice I got was the day is about you two. It's not about anyone else there. The people that are there for you, and that's what it's about. That day is for yourself. So whatever you want to do, just do it, and do it within your realm of your budget and your means, but don't try to cater to everyone else that is going to be attending. They're there to see you get married regardless of where you would ever host it. So I think it's important you stick to your means and how you want your day to go. Everything else will fall into place. I think on the photography side, look, we looked at the idea of having just a photographer, and it would still be Ryan and Finch. But the videography side of it, I highly recommend. It's completely worth it. Just to look back on those days when the kind of memories start to fade or pictures start to fade, it's just brings it all back again.
Yeah, I definitely agree with all of that. And I think just to add to it, I would think really research your vendors, because one thing that I didn't think of at the time, now in hindsight, is how much your vendors actually control your days. So we didn't have a coordinator or anything on the day, but between Ryan, Rick at Feather and Finch, and then Benny, Hannah, our wedding singer, they really helped control the direction of the day and sort of really casually being like, okay, we're going to do this, and just move things along. And that's one thing that maybe you don't expect from a photographer, because you think, well, they're here to take photos, but actually they really impacted the running of the day. Yeah,
you could see the experience come out. Like, we know Ryan's done hundreds and hundreds of weddings, and you could see that experience come through. Like, we were just told where to go and to just do it. We didn't have to think about anything. It was amazing.
Yeah, definitely take their advice on board, because they've done this so many times. So, you know, they're telling you these things for a reason, and it definitely all paid off with their suggestions.
Definitely, but we're so thankful to them, and you know, we hope that eventually we can cross paths again on some other project.
We'll have to get married again just to do the photos.
Renew the vows, that's it. So definitely recommend Feather and Finch.
100%.